Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
I'm a 33-year-old woman, and I'm happily married to my husband. Let's call him Ken, 34. We've been married for almost 12 years now. We got married early because we had a son when we weren't married, so everyone pressured us into getting married, and it has not been bad. We have our ups and downs, and we've been through every challenge together. My son, let's call him Ted, is almost 14 years old. He's homeschooled, and like any other teenage kid, spends time at night streaming on Twitch as he is a gamer and barely gets any time to play in the mornings. We have our own amends in place to ensure he's also taking his life seriously outside of gaming. He's passionate, and we support his passion cautiously. So he starts streaming at around 11 to 2, late at night, so we make sure that he has some extra food in the kitchen in case he needs it. And he does. Every day at 1, you can feel him coming downstairs, picking up some food from the kitchen. This incident took place yesterday, and we have been acting nervous since. Everything yesterday was normal. My husband came home from work, we had our dinner, and went to bed. Around 1:15 at night, I woke up to my baby being all scared and panicked and trying to wake me up. My husband and I sleep with our doors closed from inside, so how even he got into the room in the first place, I don't know. Then I tried to reach for my husband only to realize that he was gone. At this point, I'm fully awake, and I can feel the warmth in my husband's side of the bed, so he hasn't been gone for long. Nothing is making sense, and my son looks scared and isn't able to answer any questions. In my mind, I thought of the possibility of someone breaking in, and my husband had gone to check. Then I noticed a small, fresh bruise on my son's face. I'm really protective of him, so I just knew that whoever caused him that needed to be put down. Then he starts blabbering something about his dad leaving and stuff and accidentally hitting him and going out of the house. That's when it hit me that my husband is sleepwalking again. So, a little background story. My husband's father had this condition, so basically it's passed down by him, and to make it worse, the meds they gave him during his late teens and early 20s just escalated this condition to be worse. When we got married and were just settling down, that was the worst I have seen him having it. He would literally get violent and just remove everyone out of the way unconsciously and just do whatever he wants to do in this state. It gets really extreme sometimes, and I've also been hurt because of this, and later, when he was conscious and I told him about it, he felt so bad and started crying and begging for my forgiveness. And literally took it on himself to get rid of this thing that he has in himself. He didn't have the best childhood. His mom was an abusive druggie who never took any proper care of him and has physically abused him in the past. According to the doctors, it's just a subconscious way of taking his revenge. To explain it further, when he sleeps, his subconscious shifts him back to those days again and plays the whole scenario of his mother hitting him. But this time, as he's grown up, he has the strength of fighting back, and whenever he feels someone near him in that state, he gets violent. His hereditary condition, backed with PTSD and stressful work environments, leads to this condition. After regular therapy and proper medication, the condition was gone for a good 8 years. And yesterday night, it just had to happen again. There's a reason we let our son play at night. He's partly insomniac, and when he plays for a long time, it makes him really, really tired, and then he can fall asleep for a while. It's all a bit messed up in our family. So back to yesterday's incident. After realizing that my husband has wandered off somewhere, I immediately put on my nightgown and took my son with me because he saw the way he went. Our dog Jimmy also hopped on with us in search of my husband. It's been raining around here for the past few days, so the soil was wet, leaving some invisible footprints behind for us to follow to my husband. After a solid 4 minutes of walking, we caught sight of him on our neighbor's lawn. He was going completely crazy over there, My neighbor's house has a huge garden right in front of the porch area where they have their dog's house. We live in a forest area, so the dog's fecal matter is often buried into the ground of our lawns, or just for extra nutrients to the soil and growth of the grass. I know it sounds gross, but worth the try. So the scene was like my husband fighting off the dog, and when the dog gets scared and runs in to call his owners while my dog is howling, my husband goes to the part of the garden where they have gathered all the dog poop and rolls his whole body over that area. Like, I just can't imagine how gross that thing was, but my priority there was to save my husband. The owners of the house came out to see. At this point, they have already called the cops, and they are on the verge of arriving, and my husband is digging out dog poop. The lady from the neighbors is throwing up. The dogs are fighting. The husband is screaming at my face, and I'm trying to get my husband to stop while he is literally pushing me away. And when the other guy tries, he is punched in the face, and my son stands there crying. The neighbors are trying to fend my husband off and miserably failing due to the smell and everything. Everything is so chaotic, and I am actually surprised I didn't kill myself after witnessing all that. The cops arrive, and the dogs run to them. The officers, not being able to stand the stink, cover themselves in masks and gloves and provide each pair to one of us. The other lady is taken back into the house because she had difficulty breathing and was continuously throwing up. The officers tame my husband while I explain the whole story to the neighbor, and he softens up immediately and gets in position to help the cops in catching my husband and getting him out of the poop pit. While me and my son are escorted to the porch where the chairs are. I get my son to stop crying, and they hand him a phone to watch TikToks and shut the hell up. They finally catch my husband and smack him to wake him up, and he jolts from that state and goes to the blank state. An ambulance is called. We all need some kind of aid because my husband goes to the gym and he is really strong. After a while, when he comes back to consciousness, he notices the wetness and stink of the poop and throws up. At this point, everyone is throwing up one by one. The cops are just trying to calm themselves down and think rationally on what to do. After they asked a few questions, we returned home. The neighbors didn't press any charges on us, but of course we need to pay back for their property damage and the treatment required for the dog. We all came back home and cleaned ourselves up. Ken threw up several times and needed an extra hand in cleaning himself up, and it was everywhere in his body. He looked embarrassed to be doing that, but it's not his fault. He really didn't know what he was doing in the first place. My son was really tired, so I put him to sleep, and he really felt the need to sleep for the first time, and I know he would be scared after going through all this violence and chaos. So I will let him sleep for a while before he calms down, and hopefully he'll get over it soon enough. We all got cleaned up. We had to visit our neighbors and go to the police station and then to see the therapist. We'll keep you guys updated. So today we went to the station to show them the receipts of his illness and answer some questions and complete all the procedures. It was a hectic day there, and we even noticed the cops being all giggly while asking the questions and clarifying. My husband was completely embarrassed by all of it, but I kept on assuring him of everything, and a lot of times. I was stressed, and it really took us a long time there, and we took some takeaway and came back home. We don't discuss it much either. My husband's therapist is out of town and would be returning in 2 days. I gave him a call and discussed this whole incident. He's instructed my husband to have the old meds till he returns, and he will be continuing his therapy once again till it gets better. I'm alert at night, and he ties himself to the headboard to make sure that he doesn't run away. That's all for now. Hey everyone, it's me again. I read all your comments and thought you all needed an update. Well, it's been a month now. The past month has been really hectic for me and my family. And yes, we did pay for all the damages my husband made on their property. And we also took them out to lunch as they helped us out a lot. Our families have gotten closer, and they have helped us a lot in this past month. My husband hasn't gone outside again, but has slept and walked to the kitchen and to a lot of places in the house. So we got a new, stronger lock with password for our bedroom door, so he would stay inside and won't run off. I'm always on huge alert at night, and it's been tiring. We have been taking couples therapy, and he is also going to his own personal therapy, and he's been taking some hardcore meds to stay sane. He's really been hard on himself. Things are improving slowly for us, but we are making improvements all the time. It's okay. OP, don't lose hope. It's all going to be okay. That's the best I can do for you. I'm glad your neighbor is helping you out. Don't be depressed. It's all going to end up good. I don't mean to sound selfish, but the husband should take care of himself better and not throw himself to stress for which his condition is showing up again. OP is just tired and seems burnt out. But it's just my opinion. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you would also take some therapy too. It's all really disturbing.
Next story.
My mother-in-law is elderly. She had my husband when she was in her 30s. We have never had a good relationship, and she basically thinks that my husband and son, he's 2, walk on water while I am a bottom feeder in said body of water. Her unofficial love language is food, and she loves cooking for my husband and her grandson. She also hates it when she comes over or we go over and she does not get the opportunity to feed her grandson. Now, my husband and I aren't too fussy about my son's diet except for the following 3 rules and his allergies. No sugar unless on special occasions. No fruits in the evening because for some reason his nose starts leaking. Minimal deep-fried stuff. My mother-in-law has made it her life's mission to go against every single one of these rules at every possible opportunity. I typically let my husband handle it, but on this occasion, I completely lost it. We went over to visit her for dinner, and she offered my son a plate of chocolate cookies. So I reminded her that we don't allow him sugary food unless it's a special occasion, and particularly not at night. She looked really sad and said her heart hurts that she can't even feed her own grandson. I completely lost it at this emotional blackmail and snapped. I think my son's health is more important to me than your happiness. In retrospect, I think I was rather harsh over a damn plate of cookies. AITA? I snapped at her when my son was playing with my brother-in-law in his room. He's at the age when he absorbs everything like a sponge, and even when I am my most pissed, I try to be mindful of what I say around him. Try being the operative word. This has happened countless times. Most times I either let it go or let my husband handle it. Problem is, she doesn't listen to either of us. This time, I just lost it. My 2-year-old has sweet food about 4 to 5 times a month. Birthday celebrations, in parties, anniversaries, etc. And school. He doesn't see these things as forbidden, just that it isn't available when it's available. He's happy with what we regularly feed him. My husband and I both have health problems on both sides of the family, and we would prefer that at 2 he doesn't have sugar more than those few times. Additionally, it's not about the cookie. If she had asked us, we would have been happy with it. But we visit her 3 to 4 times a week, and every single one of those times she gives him a sugary snack or fried foods. Where I'm from, the word elderly does not have a negative connotation. It is meant to indicate that someone is much more experienced and is deserving of respect. I only added that line to illustrate that she is so much older, and I might be a major for snapping at her. I had no clue that in the American context, elderly is a negative word. NTA, she knows what she's doing. It's not even about the love language anymore. It's dominance, to undermine your rules about food. She's saying she knows better. Plus then, she gets to look like the chill one who just wanted to offer a cookie to a child, and probably make you look unreasonable. I'd start matching the energy she gives you.
Next story.
Hear me out, 40-something mom with elementary-age kids. First, I love them more than words. Yada, yada. Husband is awesome and we have a great relationship. He definitely does his share of child rearing. Not exactly 50-50 due to logistics of our jobs, but definitely does more housework than I do. We are really one of those happy families. I can hear Keith Morrison on our Dateline intro now. But I'm tired and crave quiet. I do drop off every morning because Hobbs goes to work at 6 a.m. Getting the kids up, dressed, fed, packed, and off to school ranges from seamless, cheerful mornings, rare, all the way to all of us screaming and crying and punishments threatened, luckily also rare. But kids will be kids, and so the 10th time of mom, 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 mom from 2 floors away, while I'm in the bathroom no less, combined with X hit me, Y stole my spoon, I forgot to do my homework, I can't find my shoes, drive me effing batty. I work a full day at semi-demanding job where I talk to people most hours of the day. Weekends are generally pretty chill without too many commitments, with maybe an hour or two where the kids are preoccupied and I can have me time to read a book or stare at TikTok or whatever. Hubs volunteered to take the kids Friday afternoon to father-in-law's house and be back Sunday afternoon, Mother's Day. I love this idea as it gives me 2 mornings to sleep in and an entire full day to myself. Plus, the kids love father-in-law's house and will have a blast. Well, to hear others' reactions, the fact that I will wake up Sunday morning to a quiet house obviously means I am a horrible person and really don't love my kids at all. I mean, gasp, what mother doesn't want to spend Mother's Day with her children? Hi, yes, that would be me. Someone even told my husband he has TA for making Mother's Day about him and his family. And I love BTW. I want time to myself, but please tell me, AITA? This is happening regardless of what the internet says, so I'm just curious on how bad I should feel about it. Thanks to all your thoughts and comments, 99% say NTA, so appreciate the virtual agreement. Wanted to hop back on to say that the amount of people who are saying my husband is so thoughtful for arranging this caught me off guard. Yes, he is awesome, but I don't think he was some kind of unicorn above all other dads, partners. Take this as a hint. Make a point to give your spouse some time to themselves. You will get mega bonus points. Most people relish, if not the quiet, just lack of obligations. Plan an outing away from the house for your kids for a whole day or start with just a few hours. And, important to add, saying, I'll watch the kids, you go out and do something for you, sounds like a nice gesture, but it isn't. The burden is still on the evictee to entertain themselves. And really, the remaining parent isn't really trying. Sometimes we just want quiet in our own space. NTA. As a mom of 3, I can say that this sounds like the perfect Mother's Day.